let me just introduce people at the table first of all. It's myself, I'm Anthony Whittaker, I'm the chair of the board. I've been on the board for the last 3 years.
Joe Oak, Chief Executive, been Chief Executive in post now for 18 months.
Chris Mundy, Company Secretary.
Claire Marshall, Corporate Director of Finance, Governance, Strategy and Performance. I've been a Vice Coach for just over 2 years.
And we've got Richard Bott, who's our external auditor, who's going to be joining us virtually. So just a few housekeeping points before we kick off. So those who are attending virtually, if you could mute your microphones, please. The meeting's also going to be recorded, so if you don't want to be recorded, just turn off your camera as well. When we're asking people to vote on each of the 3 items that we require a decision from the meeting, we'll take a show of hands for members that are in the room and ask those attending virtually to use the chat function on their the right-hand side of their screen to register their vote. But if at any time during the session, if anything is unclear or if you need anything repeating, again, please raise a hand or use the chat function for that purpose. Could I ask everybody to put their phones on silent as well, please? So we're going to be keeping social distancing rules, which is pretty easy in a room of this size. And just to tell you where the emergency exits are, you've got one at the back there and one on the right over there. So the agenda and running order for the meeting is shown on the slide here. We're going to take the formal items of the business first and then move on to the annual review for 2021. And then we've got time for Q&A at the end, questions at the end. So just to confirm, we've got I hope we've got a quorum. We've got 8 shareholders present in the room and we've got 3 at the moment online, I think. I'm expecting 1 or 2 others, but just to confirm, we do have a quorum in accordance with Rule C23. So there's no changes that we're bringing forward in terms of board membership this time, but I would like to mention that we've just completed a recruitment exercise and we're hoping to, looking forward to introducing a number of new board members later in the autumn. So I'm going to hand you over to Chris.
Thanks, Anthony. Just to briefly note the apologies we've received for the meeting. There's 11 apologies from Andrew Wallbridge, Bob Marwick, Hazel Davis, John Kinder, Mary Davis, Pauline Wotton, Raymond Simpson, Susan Rhodes, Stuart Baldwin and Philip Williams. And we can also confirm that ahead of the meeting, we've got 9 proxy votes that have been received on the 3 items of business.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll note that.
We'll note it.
Thank you very much. So can I take a step to the first decision item on the agenda, and that's the to receive and approve the minutes of the special general meeting that was held on the 2nd of August, which a copy of which you should have received with your pack. Can members present please raise your hands to indicate that you're happy to approve the minutes? Okay. So there's the proxies plus the ones in the room and the ones online is 16 in favour. Is anybody against approving the minutes? No? So I can confirm then that the minutes of the special general meeting are approved. It takes us on to the second item. It's to receive and approve the minutes of the last AGM, which was held on the 23rd of September. Again, can members please raise your hands to indicate if you're happy to approve those minutes? Great, thank you. And those online? So 15. Okay, does anybody not approve the minutes? So I consider those approved. Thank you. So I think it's back to you. Oh, it's over to Claire.
Hi, thank you. Thank
Sorry.
you, Anthony. So now I'm going to talk you through the financial statements and give you a brief update. So for the financial statements for the year ended 31st of March 2021, before we receive the report of our external auditors, Mazars, and to note the company's financial statements for the year, I would like to provide just a brief overview for you. So it continued to be a challenging year as we navigated our way through the pandemic. Our priority, as always, is to keep our colleagues and our customers safe. And despite these challenges, I can report that in summary, for the year ended March 2021, the business delivered an overall surplus of just over £2.2 million. This is lower than the £3.1 million surplus delivered in the prior year, but reflects the increased level of investment made into our homes and communities in the period. In the year, we invested £9.1 million on repairs and investments into our homes and communities, compared with £6.9 million in the prior financial year. This increase in expenditure is a key part of our strategy to maximise the investment we make in our homes, and this has continued into the current financial year. I am pleased to report that we've been able to make these investments while ensuring that all our bank covenants and commitments are safely met. Ensuring covenant compliance is achieved also forms part of our annual external audit, which has again been carried out by Mazars. And Richard Bott, our Mazars audit partner, is with us via video this evening to provide further information to you on how the year-end audit has gone and to provide assurance over the financial position and going concern of Valleys to Coast. On that note, please can I hand over to Richard Bott via the magic of video, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Richard Bott, the partner from Mazars, your external auditors, responsible for the audit of Valleys to Coast housing. I'm sorry not to be with you today due to technical difficulties, but I would just like to report that our audit was completed as expected with some on-site attendance this year, and I'm very grateful to Claire Marshall and her team for facilitating the audit in still challenging COVID-impacted circumstances. My audit opinion on the financial statements and other areas, which is set out in the financial statements, is unqualified, and although it runs to 6 pages this year, that is merely reflective of the wider scope of the audit and nothing else. Thank you.
With Richard unfortunately not able to be here in person, we can take any questions if shareholders have them, either now or after the meeting, and relay those to Richard and get any answers back to you. Obviously, he would have done that sort of in person if he was here, but if there are any questions, then we can perhaps pick up just after the meeting, unless there are any now. Just moving on then to the final formal item of business is to reappoint our external auditors for the period until the next annual general meeting. And our Board of Management recommend the reappointment of Mazars for that next period. And again, if we can request members in the room just to raise hands if you are satisfied to approve the reappointment of Mazars. And again, virtual attendees to use the chat facility to record your vote. So everyone content to reappoint Mazars for the next period? Thanks, Lizzie. And if there's anybody not content, could you sort of indicate as such now before we move on? Okay, thank you very much. That concludes the formal business. I'll hand over now to Joanne for the annual review of the year.
Thank you, Chris. So, Pranamdar, Pawb, good afternoon all. So this is my opportunity now to tell you what we've been up to at Valleys to Coast. And I'm also going to be not just looking at the financial period to March 2021, but just to bring you up to date in terms of where we are now. And just to start with, I just want to say we're no longer being called V2C. We are Valleys to Coast, and you will have started to see some of our new branding and our bilingual logo. And before I start my annual review, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone here for attending, those in person and those who are online for our first hybrid event. But a big thank you as well to our colleagues who put in the hard work behind the scenes to make today a success. You know, the whole team for their work this year, and finally to Anthony and our board members who make such a valuable contribution to our business. So diolch yn fawr. But also I think it's really important, and I want to acknowledge an extended thank you to our customers and our partners. You know, because last year has been a year like no other. It's been really challenging. So not only did we as a business have a challenge, I know this was challenging for many of you. So our priority has always been to continue to ensure that we keep our colleagues and our customers safe. So as we step out of the shadows of the pandemic, Valleys to Coast is currently in a period of optimistic change and improvement after the lockdowns, which resulted in our repairs and maintenance team experiencing interrupted services. And what we put forward is a turnaround programme. And as the business now is starting to get back to full strength, we've dedicated the necessary resources to prioritise our delayed services. And we are starting to see results. So just want to show in terms of what we started to see as part of the intervention we put in, which has now only been around 12 weeks, but we've continued to deliver 647 of our backlog of repairs. All the new repairs that have been coming in completed, we're turning those around. So 86% of those have been completed. We've been able to re-let 26 of our empty homes. 137 adaptations have now been completed, and we've really strengthened our partnerships with Regen Care and Repair to help ensure that we are improving our processes. And, you know, a big area, because I'd written out to our customers, was around the complaints in terms of our delayed services. We've been in a position to resolve 39% of our complaints and 50 pest control cases resolved. So we know that this is a start of quite a long project, and as we're trying to catch up as well as we continue our day-to-day work, but we will get there, and I will continue to keep everybody updated. So we want to ensure, really at the heart of what we're doing is we're giving our customers the best experience so that they feel safe and happy in their homes. At the end of the financial year, 81% of our customers reported they were satisfied with the service from Valleys to Coast. That's good, but we know we can do much better, and we will be doing much better next year. What we have done, we've relaunched our customer engagement strategy. We have really increased how we are consulting and engaging as we move forward. You know, that's ranged from a letter I've recently sent to our customers, getting feedback on our new website, speaking out to our tenants about the services that they would like. And we've also brought together our customers to be part of the panel interview for recruiting the new board members that Anthony just talked about. We're also not relying on traditional mail and digital ways. We know through our contact and engagement with customers, digital exclusion still is a concern for us with a high proportion of our customers. So we are going out into the communities to speak directly and making sure that we're doing this in a COVID-safe way. So many of you will remember Reggie, our touring consultation van, and due to demand, he's now back on the road, and we are going out visiting different estates and chatting with our customers. And this is quite timely because the biannual statements land now, and we'll be able to explain where the rent money goes. Our community housing teams have also been running consultations on our Wildmill estates and in our sheltered schemes. So just to give you a bit of flavour of some of the things we've been doing, we've been involved in our communities in the naming of our new homes, like Kevin Cribber, where 65 suggestions came from the local community, and we submitted 3 of the most meaningful to Bridgend County Borough Council, and Closs St Iowen was chosen. The reason why, so if you want to understand where that came from, look at our website and look at the news article, which will give you an explanation. We also been engaged with the children at the Old Castle Primary, which helped with the naming of the new block of homes on Iweni Road, T Modron, and created these gorgeous hoarding paintings to cover the building site, so which is a much more attractive way in terms of for the community. And I really believe that this helps to connect the customers to their homes and their communities. I'm just going to hand over now to Anthony, who will just talk through some of the engagement activities the leadership team, the board have been involved in, and some of the activities we've been doing in our communities recently.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, so although parts of the financial year were spent locked down, many of us have really enjoyed getting back out and about into the communities recently, and we've got our monthly Monday walkabouts. And I'm really pleased that a number of board members have come along to join in on this when they can. I was even allowed to bring my dog onto one of the walkabouts, which is very nice. I think it's important for board members to actually get out there, to have a chance to speak to customers, and also to see the stock and the community activities that go on around the homes, helping us to understand any issues and to bring to life a lot of the information that we get through our board papers to actually see it on the ground. But we also invite local authority members, members of the Senedd, and our Member of Parliament to come along as well, because their offices have to deal with a lot of the issues that their constituents, who are also our customers, bring to them. I'm going to just talk to you through some of the community benefits. So, you know, we're investing a lot of money throughout the year, and I think it's important as a board that we understand that we can squeeze as much value from those investments as we possibly can. So as an organisation, we focus on maximising the impact that we have on our communities in all that we do, embracing all the opportunities as a key organisation in Bridgend to support the local supply chain and utilise our investments to improve social, economic and environmental well-being across the country. And we do this by ensuring that our procurement procedure takes social value and impact into account. Some examples. We've worked extensively with property services company ASW to ensure we maximise community benefit contribution within the large contract. We've established a 5-year timetable together, which includes 780 weeks of apprenticeship training and 50 weeks of work experience, tree planting, a handy person service, supporting customers with IT, shopping, skip amnesties, growing projects, and education workshops. We've currently got several Kickstart apprentices, and we've just joined the Kiffle Building Skills, which is an award-winning regional shared apprenticeship scheme that aims to provide a service which supports young adults into sustainable employment within the constructive industry. On the community benefits side, we've worked with United Living to replace 4 community benches in Porthcawl and Hale Construction to purchase and install a bus shelter for the residents of the rural communities at Hoylequeue, plus WD Lewis developers to provide a new school playground for Porthcawl Primary. So working in partnership means that we can do so much more together. Another event that was attended by local politicians was the recent Magnificent Meadows event, where Senedd member Sarah Murphy joined the pupils from Porthcawl Primary, many of whom live in valleys to coast homes near the school, for an afternoon of raking, sowing native wildflowers under the guidance of Plant Life Cymru. And with the meadows nestled between the school and our estates, the children can watch the flowers they plant grow, which has so many long-term benefits, I think, for the environment and is in line with our vision for greening up our communities. So really pleased with that. We've also worked with SIRS Limited to provide the relocation of the Bridgend Food Bank, which is so sadly needed in our community and has helped over 5,500 residents since the start of the pandemic. I could go on, but looking forward, I think amongst the many projects that we're going to be looking at collaboratively with Link Cymru and their Sunnyside Bridgend development by joining forces to develop a community garden next to the Westwood Community Centre at Kevinglass. Plus, we're going to be developing our social impact and value policy next year, which is going to enable us to capture, but also to measure the impact and the value that the community benefits is having on our customers and on our communities. So I want to hand you back to Jo.
Thanks, Anthony. So I talked around our current turnaround programme, which forms part of our brilliant basic stage of our recently launched 10-year corporate plan, which will take us to 2031. And this maps out all our strategic priorities into 3 stages. That first stage being about laying those solid foundations so it allow us as an organisation to build and grow. You know, it was really important that we had this roadmap post-pandemic to ensure that throughout the organisation, we always stayed focused on our core purpose to create homes where customers feel safe and happy. You know, that's the very essence of why we exist as a business and why we need to just deliver all our strategic priorities. Recognising safe and happy customers living in safe and happy homes need to live in safe and happy places, which is why we focus giving back to the communities where our customers live, they're investing in, and what they tell us they need. Moving forward, as we look forward now as part of our corporate strategy, sustainability will be a real key theme for us throughout the business. And we've already started to make strides from putting nesting boxes in our estates to bring wildlife and bird life back into our communities. And we're ensuring our homes, the office and the depot are carbon neutral by 2030 is our ambition. But we've already started to make huge strides. So we've moved our IT system into the cloud, and you'll see that we've been showcasing our barn house eco homes in Marlis, and we're also committed to changing our fleet of vehicles to electric. So this is all part of our vision to help build a better Bridgend and Wales. We believe passionately in supporting our local community and strive to create strong and meaningful relationships with other local anchor organisations. We will continue to work with our local suppliers and contractors wherever possible so that we're maximising the impact of our investments within the local community. And we're ensuring, more important now, that we're seeing that we're paying all our suppliers on time, that we're being fair and transparent in our procurement and our tendering processes to ensure that we're really delivering value for money for our customers. For our organisation, though, to reach its full potential, it's really important that colleagues also feel safe and happy within the organisation. And after spending so much time working from home, the corporate strategy is also a guide for our colleagues in terms of their working behaviours. They return back to the office, the depot and into our communities. We're determined to take the positives from the past year, because there has been some, even despite some of the challenges. And we've engaged with an external consultancy to look at our future ways of working. And this will give our colleagues flexibility and choice on where and how they work. And that will ensure that we can actually work smarter, which will be much more beneficial to us as a business and about what we want to achieve. But even though we've had this tricky period, we've continued to try to be vibrant and active organisation and try to continue to deliver quality homes and maximising our partnership working. So we've just won an Employer Partnership Award from Bridgend College to celebrate the success of collaboration projects that we're working on, from IT to decarbonisation. Our finance team recently highly commended in the Finance Team of the Year award at the Finance Wales Award for their work during the pandemic. Our development team continues to go from strength to strength, and this is really vital considering the national housing crisis and how many new homes is needed in Bridgend. Even in lockdown, our development team completed 40 new homes during this past year. 4 homes at Closs Capelip Hill, the barn house pilot that I just spoke about, 23 at Ailey Bryn and 13 in Hayley Kew. And all our development projects currently in the pipeline will deliver innovative, desirable and affordable homes, both in Bridgend Town Centre and the surrounding communities. As well, this will generate local jobs and income, which we can use then to reinvest into the maintenance and improvement of our existing homes. The project that I'm most excited about is Ford in Eglwys, which will be finished next month. These are one-bedroom houses built to ensure people who have experienced real difficulties in their lives and they found themselves without a home. Now they will have somewhere they can call home for the rest of their lives if that's what they choose to stay. It's important for us to ensure that everyone has a safe and happy home. And for us, we've been working closely with Bridgend Borough Council to ensure people who currently experiencing homelessness are staying in temporary accommodation, get a home to match their needs. We've worked with the local authority to develop the rapid rehousing process so that we are really ensuring those individuals are matched to the homes that place them close to the help and support of their family, friends, and easy access to employment. This ensures that a home is one less thing in life to worry about. Not only are these homes innovative buildings, they're also a first for a social housing association in Wales. They're made from lightweight, innovative structural insulated panels, which eliminates the need for wet trades and makes the homes much more energy efficient. This means it's more affordable for our customers and more affordable and quicker for us to build. So even though we've experienced some teething problems, because this has been the builder's first time building homes like these, plus we've been experiencing, supply chain issues, meant that these have taken just a little bit longer than we anticipate. But actually, this building should only take around 12 weeks, which could really contribute to lowering the national housing crisis, which is why the importance of developing new homes is really key to our 10-year strategy. So you can find out more about the new builds from our financial statements, which will be published online tomorrow, or from our Corporate Director of Development, Darren Davis, who's with us today. So if there's any questions, please could ask them at the end of the session. So let me now just play our annual review video, which has been created by our in-house comms team. And I want to thank them who are all here today. So if we can just look at our video.
Over the last year, we have achieved great things as an organisation, taking strides towards our commitment to ensure that our customers, homes, places, and colleagues are safe and happy. At Valleys to Coast, our customers are at the heart of everything we do. Our Money Matters and Welsh Water teams have been working hard, generating an additional £1.62 million in added value for our customers and supporting 119 families with emergency food bank parcels. After a year of self-isolating, the community living team at our sheltered and extra care schemes has supported residents to regain the strong sense of community that existed pre-pandemic, celebrating the Llyston restaurant reopening and even celebrating Christmas in July.
As restrictions get lifted, we've been able to start to really rejuvenate the well-being aspect of tenancy management, and that's something we've rolled out across all of our schemes. So what we've done is we've put in structured well-being plans, which we've done in consultation with the tenants, with the aim of ensuring that they not only get to see and be part of a community, but they are happier, they are healthier, and as such are able to look to their homes as happy homes and to be happier customers.
Our hub has also been on hand to support customers with their queries, helping over 1,800 customers between April 2020 and March 2021 through social media messaging and our web chat service alone. By the end of the financial year, over 81% of customers reported they were satisfied with the service from Valleys to Coast. Our total number of lets from April 2020 to March 2021 was 273. We are also committed to regenerating Bridgend by building safe and desirable homes where people can feel proud to live. We've delivered 40 new homes across Bridgend, including our development built at Hayler Kew, built as part of Bridgend County Borough Council's School Modernisation Programme.
We worked with a local architect, Spring Design, to help us design a scheme which we felt would fit into the community and add value to the community in terms of good quality homes. One of the things we endeavoured to do was to recognise the history of the school by maintaining the plaque, which you see over my shoulder. And what we've done that is to build that into the end of the community as a gesture to show, I suppose, the history of the site.
We have also secured £15.8 million in social housing grant funding from the Welsh Government, all of which will go towards us achieving our corporate plan objective of delivering 100 new homes on average in Bridgend each year. To ensure our existing homes remain safe and happy, we have invested £9.1 million in planned repairs and improvements, an increase of £2.2 million from last year, completing a total of 16,950 repairs. Our Major Improvements Works team have delivered 59 new kitchens, 14 new bathrooms, and installed 43 new boilers for our customers. We want to be placemakers and ensure that our communities are thriving. Our partnerships are key in helping us to achieve this. That's why we've been working closely with partners such as Keep Wales Tidy and Plant Life Cymru to create clean and attractive spaces where our customers are proud to live. Through our Community Benefits programme, we have facilitated the delivery of various improvements throughout Bridgend with our contractors, including installing new benches at Pwllhywine with United Living, supporting the relocation of Bridgend Food Bank with SIRS, and delivering a new schoolyard for a local primary school. We recognise our responsibility to reduce our impact and create safe and happy places in Bridgend, which is why we have also partnered with Bridgend County Borough Council and Bridgend College in an ambitious scheme to plant 60,000 trees and are undertaking ecology surveys of our green spaces to ensure that we put the right trees in the right places. Colleagues are what makes Valleys to Coast brilliant. So we've been working hard to ensure that we recruit the best people and nurture their development to make Valleys to Coast a great place to work. With the pandemic changing the way we have worked over the last year, we opened the conversation up with colleagues to find out what worked for them, what lessons they learned, and what modes of working they would like to take forwards as we look beyond the pandemic. This is our Future Ways of Working consultation. We've also employed 2 apprentices under the government's Kickstart scheme.
The scheme itself is a 6-month funded placement. We are supporting them up to 37 hours a week. They'll also be gaining some minor qualifications alongside that then. But what our real hope is to then go on to a full 2-year apprenticeship with us.
And there's lots of enthusiasm there, which is really nice feeling. We'll be part of the coaching and mentoring of their process throughout the next 6 months. They'll be far more employable than what they are at the moment, making sure that they get lots of experience and lots of understanding and developing their skills.
We're proud of the work we've achieved over the last year, despite the ongoing challenges presented by the pandemic. With the lessons we've learned throughout the lockdown over the last 18 months, along with our newly launched corporate strategy guiding us through until 2031, we are certain that next year will be even better.
So I hope you all enjoyed that. And I don't normally give such a long update at the AGM, but despite the challenges and the setbacks, I think it was really important to see what we have achieved and what we've delivered, not just to the financial year of March 2021, but up until now. So I really wanted to make sure I just gave you that proper update. So before I open the floor now to ask any questions, we have received 3 questions in. So we'll just take those first in terms of each of the questions, and then we'll open up the floor.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Yeah, if I read the questions, then perhaps you can
I'll do the answers.
give us your response. So the first question, are Valleys to Coast or their representatives going to ask existing residents their opinion and suggestions about safety measures and concerns in relation to new build projects? For example, where lampposts and telegraph poles are to be situated as suggested by specialist organisations.
Okay. Thank you, Anthony. So our homes are designed with a number of different regulations and specifications. One is the Welsh Government's Development Quality Requirements 2021. We also have to go through the local authority planning consent process, which includes resident consultation. Any homes we construct also have to satisfy building regulations and the requirements of the structural warranty. We will continue, though, to engage with customers because we want to ensure that we're gaining the understanding of their experience of living in our homes. And we'll use that feedback to just help improve any of our future developments and how we want to be building any of our, in terms of our new programme.
Okay, thank you, Joe. I hope that answers the question. I'm not sure whether the people who have asked the questions are in the room or not, but I hope that's provides the answer to that one. The next question then if we're reporting customer satisfaction at 81% in the annual review, why is this higher than being shown by the Welsh Government in their most recent sector survey outcomes? And as a sort of secondary question to that, what action are we taking to improve customer satisfaction?
Yeah, okay, thanks, Anthony. So there are some rounding in terms of what gets published, but there's also nuances of extra granularity around customer satisfaction that appears in the published STAR survey. But we have now developed a new customer satisfaction survey. We are really looking for people's with lived experience of their specific services rather than just having a generalised question. And we are really actively listening and reacting to what people say. And just to give some examples of what we've done recently in terms of going out asking our customers, is majority of our customers said they wanted the live-in rent model, which we're now providing. People have told us they want to see an improvement in our repair services. That's part of us trying to escalate our programme of work that we had, which is around our providing homes which would be safe and happy. But we've escalated that through the turnaround programme that I spoke about recently. And going forward, we are expanding our engagement team so that we are really building customer feedback in terms of shaping our service delivery and our ways of working going forward.
Thank you, Jo. So the last question that we received was, our accounts show a reduction in the number of frontline staff, but an increase in management. Why is that?
So we can't quite compare the management figures that are published in the financial statements. So during 2021, interim arrangements ended with the appointment of a permanent chief executive and a management restructure took place, which actually reduced the number of management layers within the organisation. So at the end of the period of March 21, there was 8 layers, and now we have 5. So the organisation was quite a pointy triangle, and this is being to actually flatten the management structure within the organisation. We have been carrying vacancies and challenges that we've experienced, not just ourselves, across the sector in terms of filling specialist roles. And that's what's important for us to really be involved in the apprenticeship schemes that we've talked about. But however, we have increased our head count against what we reported in the financial statements of 239 is now 264.
Great. Well, thank you very much for that. So those are all the questions that we received in advance of the meeting, but I'm happy to take questions from the floor. Anybody's got any? Yes, James.
It was more than satisfying to see that the association seems to have weathered the last 18 months and appears to be going out on the right side. And you know, the shareholder would like to see that. I mean, thanks to the staff and for getting us this far. I was particularly excited about the Tour de Regulace development, particularly because of my concerns about sustainability. Can we be assured that the design criteria that was employed in those 4 units and 4 dwellings will be continued in new developments in the future when they come online? We can see if that was a very good example of how houses should be built, and then forgotten about. I'd just like to be satisfied that what we've learned from that exercise is
we're taking forward.
Yeah,
it's a great question. Thanks.
It is a great question. And the commitment in our corporate strategy is about us as an organisation being sustainable decarbonisation by 2030. And that's about us as a business, but in terms of our new build homes and our existing homes in terms of it. So we certainly will be taking the learning from what we've done from Forded Eglwys. But we're also working because Welsh Government is looking at the new standards and the requirements. So what comes out through those, we'll make sure we're adopting those in our new build programme.
Does anybody else have any question? Yes.
Just a follow-up really to a question you answered on customer satisfaction survey. First of all, I'd like to say what a brilliant job done last 18 months in finish, I know. So, congratulations to all staff. I can just sort of ask a little bit more detail on the customer satisfaction. The Welsh Government did a recent survey, as you know, and there were 8 separate questions they asked. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, out of the 45,000 associations, East Coast is a constant of one question in the bottom 3 to 4. What particularly, I suppose, concerned me was the question of how satisfied or dissatisfied are you that your social landlord listens to your views and so on. When we're really dirty about things. And obviously that concerns me, the AGM, obviously listening to everything and all the efforts we put in. But we've still got customers, not just on that one question. The majority thinking that we're probably not delivering what we should. But if that's
No, no, I can pick up that question, and it is a concern. It's a question, is acknowledged that as we stepped out of the pandemic, the information, the performance that was coming through was what we were seeing as Valleys to Coast being at the bottom of the league table, if you would say, in terms of those satisfaction requirements, along with the backlog we were seeing with our repairs and an increase in our complaints. Hence the turnaround programme that we've done to tackle this. That was the intervention we're putting in place to make sure that this is the improvement programme that we're doing to bring our standards of service back up to where they need to be. So fundamentally, as part of that is making sure that our customers have a voice to shape those services, and we are listening and learning from the complaints so that they are driving the improvements.
Yes, so I understand why we got to the bottom of the table in the first place. But all housing associations.
Yeah, all housing associations, but the STAR survey is not necessarily all like for like in terms of when we submit it, but in terms of times, that wasn't quite clear. So some of them, and I'm sure Emma can probably technically confirm that it wasn't all of us completed at the same time. We made the decision to do the survey through the COVID pandemic. That wasn't necessarily taken into the decision made by all our RSLs. So using the league table doesn't provide you a like-for-like comparison.
I agree that it's a pity this was published.
Yes.
Because it's not actually that accurate, yes? And it just puts Valleys to Coast practice in a position that it shouldn't really be if the survey had been conducted in a better way.
But yeah, and I appreciate that. And for us, it's not the important bit is they are low scores, and we recognise that and we acknowledge it, and we've put interventions into it to improve. Yes, yeah. Of course you can.
Actually, I know it's a tangent here, but as CEO, you have a car allowance. Yes?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
I'll show you this car.
Yes, at that point in time, yes.
That's fantastic. Yes. And one other little concern I have, not regarding Valleys to Coast, but having looked at some other housing associations who have brought in performance-related pay, could I have an assurance, or can we have an assurance today, that Valleys to Coast have not discussed this, have no intention of bringing in performance-related? I cannot see this as an advantage for housing associations.
It's not something we've discussed and considered in terms of where we are currently. Yeah.
Thanks very much. David, did you want to come in?
Yes, sorry, David Wilson from TPAS Cymru. Firstly, those questions, were they tenants or staff? Because they were cracking questions. I got a lot of AGMs.
From tenants.
They're tenants, were they? Great. some good scrutiny going on there, so
Thank you.
congratulations. Coming back on that survey, I think if you look at the Welsh Government website, they quite recognise that first survey had a lot of flaws in it, in terms of the data collection, the timing, things like that. It's not taken away, as you said, I don't think you are taking away from the results, but I think we need to look at it over time, over the next couple of years, to see how they perform, because the first one showed there was lots of irregularities to how data was collected and things like that. And you're also going to get people like Aylward, which is a quite niche Christian housing association, very small, very community-based. They're always going to score high, you know. Yeah, they are literally 100%, because it's a very interesting and different housing association to a stock transfer or something. So, there are a lot of people looking at this, and I think we need to see that standardization so we can have more open conversations about them. You know, if you send them the surveys out in November when it's freezing and the kids have just put mud through the carpet, you're going to get a different response to, you know, in the summer where it's all shining and you're invited to a summer fete at the same time. I've written about this in Welsh Housing Quarterly, how we need to try and get it more standard so you can scrutinise it better.
Thank you.
Sorry, that wasn't really a question, sorry.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have any question? Yes.
We've been walking around the Brintirian estate looking at the garage sites. We've been walking around. Oh, is that right? We've been walking around the Brintirian estate over the last few years. That's the assembly members, county councillors, and myself. And the state of the garage sites are absolutely disgusting there. A lot of people are using them now because of the bylaw that's been brought in regarding parking on the pavements, which is £80 fine now, as I understand. So they're using the garage site, but the thing is, they parking for free. Why aren't they being charged and then using that money to clean up the garage sites, which are in one hell of a state? And when Clive Thomas was with us, manager for open spaces, he had a lot of the garage sites cleaned up, but he's gone now, isn't he? So we're losing a lot of money. The health and safety issues there are absolutely terrible. We sent the photos into the last chief executive. I don't know if you've got them on file, but if you haven't, I can drop them into your office soon, and you'll see what Caroline Jones put together and all the correspondence. She's Senate person. So it's a matter of the people in Brintirian, they're pleased with the improvements, but the outside of the properties are in a very dangerous state, quite honest. And we've had the caretakers up there, as you call them, they've cleaned up a tremendous amount of rubbish that people, tenants and residents, have dumped. So it's both ways. So that's what we'd like to see in Brintirian. Those garage sites cleaned up, get the cars off the pavements, and then charge them. What do they charge for a handstand? For a hard stand, then, you know, was it £5 a week or no? It's in your report, but it's not itemized. It's there with the garage. So
I'm not sure. I can find out for you just what the nominal weekly charge is. Yeah, of course.
yeah, because in the report it's got garages and hard stands, and then the price at the end. So so next year perhaps we'll have them separated.
Yeah, no, leave that with us, and you know, particularly when we go out and do our next leadership walkabout and we come up in this state, we can talk.
We'll bring you in with me. I'd love you to.
Yes, we
Thanks.
will.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bob. Anybody else got any questions? In which case, can I draw the meeting to a close? And thank you all for your attendance today.
Yeah,
thank you.
Big thank you.